Hello and welcome to the Week 3 Monster Pod presented by TheLines.com. Matt Brown, Steven Anders. Joined this week, Ryan Noonan from 4 for 4. If you haven't checked their stuff out, Carolina Panthers and the Las Vegas Raiders. This is 5.5. 39.5 to 40 is our total. Ryan, I'm still alive in the Circus Survivor contest. I had my pick already done on Sunday evening. It was going to be the Raiders because why wouldn't it be the Raiders? They're getting the Panthers at home, and then the Panthers go off and bench Bryce Young like assholes and like, don't let me get through this week and use the Raiders one time. And so now I have to go back and rethink all the stuff that I thought that I knew and what's going on with all this. But I guess the question does become, what is Andy Dalton worth to this Panthers team? I guess you could look around and say, hey, look, they got Deontay Johnson because he still has a little bit left. They drafted Xavier Legette. I mean, like, it's not like last year where there was nothing but Adam Thielen there. I mean, if you want to try to make any sort of case here for the Panthers at all, they still have that defense that lost their best player. And the Raiders so far, not great. And certainly when you look at the efficiency metrics and the EPA per play stuff and all of that, but if you do the eye test, which I know is always great that we love to do here whenever we analyze football games, but when they started pushing the ball downfield late in the second half, which probably didn't help, bump these stats good enough. But when Gardner Minshew was pressing the ball downfield to Devontae Adams and Brock Bowers, there seemed to be something at least there with this Raiders offense. Max Crosby, still Max Crosby, absolute beast. What do you think about the red rifle? You think there's anything left in the tank?
Can he play defensive end?
Seriously,
because they need someone on the defensive side of the football to do stuff. So I get why there's optimism in the market. Obviously, that got announced. Turn on any odd screen, and you're popping all over the place. And totals going up. Raiders it's going from 6.5. We're down to like 5 for the most part. I think here now 5.5 in some spots out there if you wanted. I don't know. It's hard. I'm really surprised the Raiders are second in the league in pass rate over expectation, where they had this coach coming in and old school former player Antonio Pierce. We're going to establish it, just talking up Zamir White, and we're going to like run behind this offensive line and like quarterback issues. We're not sure what we want to do, but we're going to run the football and not just raw passing rate, trying to come back from a deficit against the Ravens. We're talking about adjusted for scored situation, pass rate over expectation. The Raiders are second in the league, which is crazy to me. So again, he's come out and said like, we want to get back to that. We want to establish the run. So we'll see if there's anything to it this week, but Devontae Adams should cook in this spot. The one team in this league so far that's not really doing the too high safety thing, Carolina Panthers. They're playing single high at like 75% of their snaps, and they're getting picked on. And guess who's been amazing? He's pretty amazing anyway, but in his career, Devontae Adams against single high is absolutely cooked. So I think he's a problem for the Panthers in the spot. I expect maybe the Panthers have more of a pulse to keep pace a little bit. So the total getting pushed out makes a little bit more sense to me. Still kind of on the right side of key numbers if you think that there's something there with the red rifle and they were able to put some sort of pulse together offensively. But I don't know. I still think the Raiders are probably the side now that we've moved off of 6.
Yeah, I think I'm going to put one of the survivor entries on the Raiders, maybe 2, and then one on I think I'm going to split them between them and the Browns this week. Just not a lot of future value for either one of those teams, but I'm with you, Ryan. Like, I get it. Does Andy Dalton present you a better chance to maybe move the ball and pick up a few first downs? I mean, like, that's the thing. It's like they were getting no first downs. So, I mean, like, I guess it is an improvement if you look at it that way, but I don't think it's like, oh, here comes Andy Dalton, and now the Panthers are going to look like a fully functioning offense in the National Football League here in 2024. I think we've kind of jumped the shark there a little bit on that. Steven, what say you here, Panthers and Raiders?
First of all, it's never the Raiders laying 5.5. We'll start there. I'm never doing that, even if it is against the Panthers, because we do have this unknown with Andy Dalton. And despite the comeback win in the impressive fourth quarter last week for the Raiders, through 3 quarters, they were 28th in EPA per play and 27th in success rate. So this is not a team I really want to lay more than a field goal with against anybody. To me, the more likely outcome, though, in trying to decide, do I want to bet the Panthers to cover with Andy Dalton, who, if you look at any of the splits last year, last 2 years, last 3 years, whatever, he comes out to about a league average quarterback by success rate, which is a much, much better situation than Bryce Young, who's at the bottom of every list. So they will move the ball better, I think, with Andy Dalton. Does that mean they're necessarily going to cover with this horrible defense that Ryan perfectly laid out? I'm not sure. What I'm more confident in is that points are going to be scored in this game. I think Andy Dalton's going to move the ball. Ryan laid out perfectly how the Raiders should move the ball, especially if they're going to pass it as much as they are. The head coach can say as much as he wants, but until I actually see it, I think I have a theory on this, Ryan. I think Luke Getsy had multiple years of having to coordinate Justin frickin' Fields and said, YOLO, man. I'm throwing this ball. I don't care if it gets me fired. I have Devontae Adams and Brock Bowers, who looks like the truth, and Jacoby Myers is pretty good too. I'm throwing the frickin' ball. The hell with it. I'm not running the ball after what I had to deal with in Chicago. So long story short, I think it's over 40 in this game. That's what I'm more confident in versus taking the Panthers to cover.
On the Brock Bowers thing, there's a guy that scouts players, and I never have claimed to be a scout. I don't, that's not what I do, but in all his time scouting, he said he had only given a pre-draft grade of Hall of Fame to two guys ever. One was Andrew Luck and the other was Brock Bowers. He's wow. That is how highly I think that this guy is just going to go in and just destroy this league because of his physical ability and stuff. And they did start to figure that out, it seems, last week. And so we'll see if that carries over here again to this week. Want to thank Ryan Noonan for joining us here. 4 for 4, guys. If you haven't gone over there, check out everything they do over the site. Been one of the staples for me for a very, very long time, as well as Steven. So be sure to go in, take in all the great work that they do over there. And if you are watching this on the YouTube channel, everything we do absolutely free. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and let us know in the comment section how terrible we were at picking some of these games. We're always in for the criticisms, and let us know which sides that we're just completely wrong on in all of these things. Appreciate it, guys, and good luck on all your week 3 bets.